There comes a night when the silence screams louder than the day ever could, when the world finally shuts up, and all you're left with is the echo of everything you didn't do, didn't say, didn't become. It's not a midlife crisis. It's not some poetic phase. It's the awakening, the brutal, beautiful moment when you realize you're no longer young, and you'll never be that version of yourself again. Your knees crack now when you stand up. Your energy doesn't refill like it used to. You look in the mirror and see someone who's survived storms, but never celebrated the survival. You gave so much of yourself to people who only knew how to take. You silenced your instincts for the comfort of others. And now, that fake comfort is cracking like glass in your hands. But you're not broken. You're dangerous. Because now you know. And Marcus Aurelius once whispered into eternity, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." But at 40, at 50, that quote doesn't sit like some philosophical soundbite anymore. It hits like a fist. Because now, death isn't abstract. It's there, in the slow walk, the back pain, the doctor visits, the quiet loneliness of rooms you used to fill with laughter. You start to feel the countdown. You see your own expiration date circling like a vulture. And it terrifies you, but it also sets you free. This isn't some soft little self-help clip. This is your wake-up call. This is the line in the sand. This is me dragging you, by your soul, out of the fog you've been living in. Because you're tired, yeah, but not done. You're late to the game, but you're still in it. And now it's time to play like your life depends on it, because it does. So let me speak directly to the warrior who forgot how to swing, to the soul that went numb in the routine, to the man who gave too much, to the woman who held it all together while breaking apart in secret, to you, the one who stayed silent while your dreams were drowned out by the noise of everything that didn't matter. That silence ends now. From this moment forward, you protect what's left like a lion guards its last cub. You protect your time like it's gold. You protect your peace like it's oxygen. You protect your power because no one's handing it back. You have to rip it from the jaws of everything that stole it. What I'm about to give you isn't soft advice. These aren't rules. These are weapons. Weapons forged from fire, loss, betrayal, and wisdom. 7 of them. Each one carved from the bones of real pain. Each one built to make the second half of your life hit harder than your first ever could. Let this video slice through your numbness. Let it destroy your excuses. Let it pull you out of the coma you've been living in. Because if you skip this, if you look away, you might never wake up again. So hit like, drop a comment, subscribe, and send this to the strongest person you know who forgot how to fight. And when you're ready, when the fire in your chest starts to burn again, I want you to leave this in the comments. I will protect my peace, my purpose, and my future. Now sit still, breathe deep. We begin. Number 1. Learn to outgrow people without needing to announce it. They were once your person, the one who knew your scars before they became stories. You survived heartbreaks together, shared broken dreams over cheap drinks, made promises that felt eternal. But time doesn't honor nostalgia, and what used to feel like home now feels like a haunted room you keep walking back into, hoping the ghosts forgot how to whisper. You've grown, but they haven't. And now every conversation feels like you're translating your evolution to someone fluent in your past. They joke about how you've changed, as if that's a flaw. They roll their eyes at your silence, guilt-trip your boundaries, and call your peace distance. But what they're really saying is this: your growth threatens the version of you they could control. And here's where Stoicism hits like thunder. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy." Meaning, you don't have to match their bitterness. You don't need a confrontation, a final paragraph, or a dramatic exit. The Stoic path is colder, quieter, and far more powerful. Just walk, just evolve, just leave the door unlocked, but never look back. Stoicism teaches you to master yourself, not others. And part of that mastery means this: you do not owe your old life a single explanation for why you stopped shrinking to fit into it. There's nothing noble about carrying decayed connections out of guilt. That's not love. That's emotional self-harm. And a Stoic knows the only thing worth preserving is inner peace. If someone costs you that, they've already cost too much. You are not cruel for choosing silence. You are not arrogant for protecting your soul. You're not cold for refusing to bleed for people who flinch at your light. The man Marcus became wasn't built through constant validation, but through relentless discipline. He didn't need applause to walk alone, and neither do you. Yes, the quiet will hurt, but grief is the tax we pay for growth. You'll mourn who they were, but you'll never miss who you had to become to keep them. Walk away like a warrior retreating from a battlefield he already conquered. No hate, no fire, just stillness. You've got legacies to write. Don't waste ink trying to explain why the past didn't make the final chapter. Number 2, stop apologizing for protecting your boundaries. You used to burn yourself to keep others warm. Say yes when your soul screamed no. Smile when your spirit was collapsing. Bend, break, contort, just to be accepted, just to avoid confrontation, just to be the nice one. You thought being liked was survival. You thought being needed meant you mattered. But all it did was bleed you dry. You gave away your time like it was worthless. You offered silence where you should have drawn swords. You abandoned yourself in slow, quiet ways, until one day you didn't even recognize the person staring back in the mirror. And all for what? To keep the peace. That wasn't peace. That was emotional slavery dressed in the costume of kindness. Marcus Aurelius said, "If someone proves me wrong, I will gladly change. For I seek truth, and truth never harmed anyone." But truth without self-honor is useless. And the truth is this: you were never put here to be everyone's emotional landfill. You were not born to be liked. You were born to live, boldly, unapologetically. With fire in your bones and a line in the sand no one is allowed to cross. Let them call you selfish. Let them say you've changed. That's just what people do when they can no longer feast on your silence. They're not mad at your boundary, they're mad at your awakening. Because now you're dangerous. Now you see. You see who only came around when your yes was easy. You see who flinches when you finally choose yourself. And here's where Stoicism becomes armor. You don't need to explain your standards to those who never respected them to begin with. You don't need to justify your limits to people who always benefited from your lack of them. You don't owe anyone an apology for protecting your soul. You owe yourself the version of you that no longer trembles when it's time to say no. And if your boundary costs you a relationship, let it burn. Because anything real, anything pure, doesn't get destroyed by self-respect. It gets strengthened by it. Let your no echo like thunder. Let it shake the fake love from your life. You've spent too many years trying to be digestible. It's time to be undeniable. Your future is sacred ground. Guard it like your life depends on it, because it does. Number 3, take care of your body, like it's the last house you'll ever live in. You've outrun the warnings, slept through the sirens, laughed off the aches, the gasps, the stiffness, like your body was a machine that would never rust. You fed it trash. starved it of rest, buried it under excuses and screen time, and for years it stayed quiet, loyal, forgiving. But that silence? It's over. Because after 40, your body stops whispering. It starts screaming. Your knees snap back with vengeance. Your heart pounds like a ticking clock. And your eyes? They carry the exhaustion of 1,000 days spent putting everyone and everything else first. This is no longer a warning. It's a bill, and it's due. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You must build up your life action by action, not with words, not with intentions, with movement, with sweat, with discipline. Your body is the foundation, the temple, the vessel, and you've trashed it like a hotel room, forgetting this isn't temporary lodging. This is your final address. You don't get to trade it in. You don't get a spare. So start treating it like sacred ground, like it holds every chapter you've yet to write, because it does. That shoulder pain, that gut fatigue, that winded breath from walking stairs, that's your future begging you to wake the hell up. This is no longer about abs or aesthetics. It's about survival. It's about the clarity in your mind when your body is clean, the power in your voice when your lungs are strong, the fire in your soul when your spine is straight and your blood flows like thunder. You don't need a gym, you need grit. One push-up on the cold floor, one stretch that cracks the pain loose, one choice, water instead of poison. Do it again tomorrow, then again, and again, because this body is carrying your legacy, your children, your destiny, and it cannot keep dragging your negligence around like a corpse. You wouldn't sleep peacefully in a house on fire. So why live inside a body that's falling apart under your watch? Reclaim it. Train like your breath depends on it, because it does. Move like your purpose is on the line, because it is. Eat like your heart is listening, because it's begging you to. This isn't self-care. This is a war cry, a battle for your future and your body. It's the battlefield. Number 4, stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Ever notice how the harder you fight to be heard, the more they twist your words into weapons? You pour out your soul, and they mock the truth like it's nothing. You draw a line in the sand, and they call you cold. You speak with raw honesty, and they label you dramatic. What they're really telling you is, "I liked you better when you didn't have a spine." Marcus Aurelius nailed it. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. It's not about getting people to understand you. It's about being the truth, living it, breathing it, even if they can't handle it. Your piece was never meant to be a courtroom drama. For years you bent over backward, shaping yourself into something palatable, something they could digest. But no more. After 40, the veil drops. You're not here to apologize for being real. You're not here to explain the fire that burns in you, just to watch them water it down with their judgment. You can stop pleading with people who thrive on misunderstanding, people who feed off twisting your words and turning your clarity into chaos. You're not a puppet to their confusion. And here's the brutal truth. You are not responsible for their broken lens. After 40, you get this. Silence is strength, not weakness. When you stop justifying every breath you take, you unlock a power that's been waiting in the shadows. That silence, it's your shield, your refuge. Let them talk. Let them misinterpret. Let them stay in their fantasy of you. You are not here to be their emotional punching bag. You're here to create, to thrive, to walk away without a single ounce of guilt. You have every right to be misunderstood. You have every right to grow without their applause, to leave without their consent, to be without their approval. If they can't see the real you, let them speak to the ghost of who they wish you were. You're not here for their validation. Your life is not a debate, it's a damn declaration. So stop fighting to be understood by those who never will. Let them shout into the void. Let them spin their web of confusion. You know who you are, and that's all that matters. Number 5. Make solitude your superpower, not your punishment. There was a time when the thought of being alone sent your soul into a tailspin. Empty rooms felt like suffocation. Silent weekends turned your mind into a war zone, spiraling with doubts and fears. You'd grab anything, noise, people, distractions, to keep the silence at bay. Anything to avoid the storm inside. But then something changed. Pain, time, truth. And with it you realized the most dangerous thing wasn't the loneliness. It was the absence of yourself. Solitude isn't your enemy. It's your weapon. Marcus Aurelius said, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." You spent so many years surrounded by others, their opinions, their judgments, their noise drowning out your own voice. You thought you needed their approval, their validation. But here's the truth. When you can't hear your own voice, you're lost. But when you sit alone, in the dark, in the silence, that's when your soul roars. That's when you begin to face what you've been running from, the things you buried deep in the corners of your mind, the desires, the pain, the things you were too scared to admit. That's when you remember who you are. When you stop hiding behind the facades you built for others and finally stand in the rawness of your truth. Solitude doesn't punish you. It sharpens you. It refines you like steel against stone. It strips you of all the noise and shows you the core of who you've become and who you still can be. It teaches you to be comfortable in your own skin, to find peace without external chaos. It forces you to stop clinging to others, to stop needing validation, to stop depending on the world to define your worth. The power isn't in being surrounded. The power is in being alone. When you hit 40, you stop chasing popularity. You start chasing power. And that power grows in the spaces where no one's watching, no one's applauding, just you, raw, real, and unshakable. So, read that book alone. Take that walk without your phone, without the noise. Disconnect from the world so you can reconnect with yourself. Don't fear the quiet. That's where the soul is rebuilt. That's where you become unbreakable. Because the person who can stand alone, in the silence, in the storm, they are the ones who cannot be torn apart. Number 6. Let go of old versions of you that no longer survive. In this chapter, some of you are still dragging around the ghost of who you used to be, the people pleaser, the one who bent over backward to keep everyone else happy, even if it meant losing pieces of yourself, the one who stayed silent to avoid conflict, even if it meant suffocating your truth. That version of you served a purpose once, but that purpose is dead. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." The truth is, that version of you that held on to outdated identities, the pacifier, the doormat, the silent sufferer, is standing in the way of your greatness. It's time to bury it. You don't owe the world your old self. You owe yourself the courage to evolve. After 40, growth doesn't feel like a celebration. It feels like a funeral. You'll mourn who you used to be, the parts of you that still whisper for attention, still try to pull you back to the familiar. You'll grieve the comfort of being who you once were, the person who didn't rock the boat. But here's the thing. Butterflies don't apologize for breaking free of their cocoon, and you won't apologize for leaving your past behind. You're not that person anymore. You can't be. The hobbies that once fueled you now suffocate you. The friendships that once gave you a sense of belonging now leave you empty. The lifestyle that numbed you, it's suffocating your soul. It's time to release it all. You owe no one your old identity. You are not obligated to stay the same just because others want you to. Change is chaos. It's messy. It's uncomfortable. It feels like ripping the old skin off, exposing what's underneath. But pretending to be the person you once were, that's worse. It's a death sentence. Some people won't be able to handle the new you. They'll try to hold you to their expectations, to their memories of you. Let them. Let them say, "You've changed." Because guess what? You have. That's the point. You're not here to fit. You're here to build, to forge something new, something so rooted in truth that pretending to be someone else feels like betrayal. No more surviving. No more being who they want you to be. You're here to become, and you're becoming someone unrecognizable to the person you once were, and to anyone who can't keep up. Number 7. Stop begging for time from those who treat you like an option. If you're chasing their attention, you've already lost. You send the first text. You're the one making plans. You rearrange your life like a jigsaw puzzle just to snatch a sliver of their time, and all you get in return is cold replies, lame excuses, and silence masked as busyness. Marcus Aurelius warned, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Stop wasting yours." As you get older, your time becomes more sacred, more precious, and the harshest truth you'll realize is how many years you've thrown away at people who never saw your worth, who treated you like background noise, who made you feel small, invisible. You're not hard to love. They're just not capable of matching the depth you offer. And that's the truth. You are not an afterthought. You are not someone's maybe. You are not their seasonal convenience. You're not a placeholder to be picked up when it's convenient for them. You're a priority, and if they can't see that, then they're not worth your time. The real ones don't make you beg for their attention. They don't keep you in the shadows. They make time for you because they know your time is a luxury. Stop chasing. Stop begging. When you stop chasing, something shifts. Suddenly you stop running after crumbs and start attracting the whole damn meal. You don't beg for time. You choose who you give your energy to. Because here's the harsh reality. When someone is always too busy for you, their actions are screaming louder than their words. Believe them. The excuses are just their way of telling you that you're not enough, that you're just a distraction for when they need one. But you don't need that. You don't need to beg, to fight for scraps, to chase someone who won't give you their full heart. You stop settling for half-hearted efforts. You stop being an option, and you start living like the priority you were always meant to be. You want respect. You want love. Make yourself unavailable to the people who won't give it to you. The moment you stop begging for time, you'll realize something. You are time. You are the thing they should be chasing, the thing they should be valuing. You're not too old. You're just getting clearer. Clearer about who you are. Clearer about what matters. Clearer about the boundaries you've been too afraid to set. But now you're owning them. This isn't about age. It's about wisdom. And wisdom hits harder with every scar you've earned. These 7 rules, they're not just words. They're weapons forged in the heat of battle, carved by your blood, sweat, and tears. They're your battle cries for the life you're building. The next chapter? It's not about perfection. It's about raw, unapologetic authenticity. the kind that shakes the world. So, if this hit home, share it. Let someone who needs this feel the same fire, and subscribe, because we're not just here to grow, we're here to dominate. Your future isn't just waiting, it's demanding your presence. Protect it, one truth at a time.